I have never ever been this fired up about the Sony Xperia lineup. I mean, this is really a good year if you're thinking about buying an Xperia smartphone. Here's why. This video is sponsored by NordPass. Cue the Trapanese, let's do this. Whichever one of these phones you choose, you're going to get that beautiful, very slick, modern-looking 21:9 aspect ratio and form factor. It's slightly thinner, of course, slightly taller. I personally love it, not just for watching movies, but just for that daily use. It feels really good in the hand. It's very cool. Love that. All of these displays are OLED. You'll also get the headphone jack, 4,500 milliamp hour battery, and you get those wonderful speakers, of course, as well. They've also all got Gorilla Glass for that extra bit of durability there. Oh, and here's another thing. They've all got chargers in the box. Who'd have thought? I mean, that's lovely and rare, surprisingly rare. Now let's look at these phones and how they stack up compared to each other. So here's the thing. The 1 Mark III and the 5 Mark III are the flagships here. And the way to think about it is the 1 Mark III, if you're new to the whole world of Xperia right now, that's the big flagship. And the 5 Mark III is the compact flagship. Obviously, if this was another company, the naming would be clearer. And of course, if this was another company, the mid-range version wouldn't be called the 10 Mark III, which is a higher number. Anyway. So, 1 Mark III. Let's kick things off here with this incredible display. 6.5 inches, HDR OLED, 120 Hz refresh rate and 4K. A world first. Really, really impressive stuff. Everyone that I know in the tech industry, at least secretly behind closed doors, says, wow, this is really something. If you want an Android phone that can really take the fight to any other flagship, but in a unique Sony way, borrowing that Bravia magic, that PlayStation magic, we'll come on to that a bit later on, Alpha magic, yeah, there's a lot to get into here. Speaking of Alpha, let's look at the camera tech here. 4-lens setup. Great to see the telephoto zoom here. What this can do is it won't get you as far as some manufacturers in terms of crazy zoom, but you won't get that drop off in quality either. You will keep really high quality there. Again, this is Sony's way of doing things. I love it. I can't wait to try this out. Autofocus here with Sony, second to none. I really look forward to seeing, not only with moving objects, you know, cats and dogs, Sony's amazing with that, of course, but also far range objects it should be able to track very, very well. The thing I love about the Xperia approach here, and this applies to the 1 Mark III and the 5 Mark III, is the Pro app here when it comes to photography. This time around it's improved. There's also a basic mode. So you've got a bit of computational magic there if you want to use it, that's cool. You've also got the auto mode, and then if you really want to get into the world of photography and really enjoy it, if it's something like a hobby to you, or if you're a professional, you will absolutely love this. I mean, this really is the kind of signature thing. What should I call this? Signature tech, let's call it, on this phone. Absolutely love it. Great for music, front-facing speakers, of course, and they're even better than last time round with the 1 Mark II. Better bass, 40% louder, less vibration in the frame of the body there, which is nice. Overall, very, very strong there on the music side of things, especially when you then factor in 360 reality audio. And of course, let's not forget, you've got the headphone jack. This is a music lover's phone, and it's a movie lover's phone, and it's a photographer's dream phone, I suspect, as well. So the battery is 4,500 milliamp hours across the board here with all of these devices, so we don't need to worry about that. Let's see how this compares with the 5 Mark III now. Before I go any further, I want to tell you about NordPass. They're sponsoring this video, and I've been a huge fan for years and years and years of NordVPN, and I was thrilled when they brought out the password manager. That's what NordPass is. Here's why. First of all, you can get everything saved here: passwords, logins, private notes, everything in one super secure vault, and access it with one single master password. It makes shopping online easier and safer, of course. It remembers your credit card details for you. Autofill with just a click. Again, it's done by proper cybersecurity professionals. As I mentioned before, NordVPN, I mean, that's legendary. I've been using it for years and it's superb. There's a lot more to get into, but generally speaking, if you want to stay safe online, do it properly and do it with a company that can be trusted. they've got zero knowledge architecture after all, so all your data's encrypted. It doesn't reach their servers for backup and sync and all of that, unencrypted. Really recommend these guys. So yeah, hats off to them, and let's crack on. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you go into the video description below, Nord have very kindly given us a Sony 365 sign-up offer there, so check that out. Highly recommend it. So then, where were we? The key differences between the 5 Mark III, the junior version here, the compact version, and the 1 Mark III. Well, I want to tell you what the 5 Mark III doesn't have that the 1 Mark III does have. Well, it doesn't have 4K. We've got FHD. Other thing is, you don't have wireless charging. It's worth flagging because for some people that's important, although not for as many people as I suspected before with the 5 Mark II, because it was the same thing there, of course. Also, if we flip things round to the camera tech here, the camera bump, there's no time of flight sensor. Is that a deal breaker, even for serious photographers here? Well, the funny thing is that when we compared the 5 Mark II and the 1 Mark II, it didn't make as big a difference as we were expecting. So, you know, there is that to think about. Obviously, all of these phones will get them in the studio and will give you the proper verdict, but that's just worth flagging, of course. The other thing, of course, to remember is although we don't have the full pricing yet, or any pricing information at all, we do expect the 5 Mark III to be considerably cheaper than the 1 Mark III. So there's that to think about, you know, as well as its more pocketable size. Now let's move on to the 10 Mark III. Now this is the mid-ranger, of course, and it's ever so slightly smaller there than the 5 Mark III. So the 5 Mark III was a 6.1 inch display, and this is a 6-inch display. Again, it isn't going to be as punchy as the other two here. It is still FHD plus, HDR support, of course, let's not forget. Now this is powered by the Snapdragon 690 5G mobile platform. Now I love the fact that yes, this is a mid-ranger, but it is 5G, and you've got a big old battery in there and a proper processor. It's shaping up pretty well. If we flip things over to look at the camera bump here on the back, what we're seeing is a triple camera setup that looks pretty tidy. Obviously, we're not going to get up into the sort of super duper 1 Mark III territory here, but this is looking like it's going to be a very solid performer. Can't wait to test it out. Other things to think about: no wireless charging. You do still get IP65 68 water and dust resistance, Corning Gorilla Glass 6. That's nice to see. 3.5mm headphone jack. We've said that before. In terms of the performance here, 6 gigs of RAM. Again, we don't have the pricing for this yet, but the competition in the mid-range kind of playing area here is pretty serious. Is this going to be able to hold its own? Well, I suspect for Sony fans at this price point, this will be a no-brainer. I also think for people who want a daily driver that's really, really easy in the hand, and it's got that long-term approach to battery care, all those little Sony magic touches, I think a lot of people should definitely consider this phone. And I think if the price is right, it'll make perfect sense. But on that front, time will tell. So what do you think about the new 2021 Sony Xperia lineup? Is you as excited as me? Let me know in the comments section below. As you know, I always try and answer every single comment. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.